How did you and your brother get involved in this HSS scheme?
Press secretary lays out claims of huge amounts of fraud in Minnesota. Okay, 86 people charged in widespread Minnesota fraud schemes. 78 are Somali immigrants. 59 individuals convicted so far for participating in plots that basically stole $1 billion of taxpayer dollars from like multiple programs. So you have a bunch of these like nonprofits, right, saying how they're going to be helping children and different clinics and migrants, but instead all that money is being funneled to other areas. And those taxpayer dollars are spent on
don't you think?
luxury cars, homes, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya.
Right.
Literally outside of the United States.
Fraud was a family affair for the Adows, as the two brothers have now pleaded guilty here in federal court to defrauding Minnesota's housing stabilization program out of millions of dollars.
Assad Adow, owner of Leo Human Services, admitted in court that his company ripped off taxpayers to the tune of $2.7 million, falsely claiming to help 250 people find housing.
Minnesota, Somalian, arrested of fraud. There he is, pictures with Oman and Tim Waltz. So the only question that I have for the both of you is, since you're so buddy up with this criminal, did you know that he was committing fraud? He's been here for quite a while doing very, very bad things that have not been in the best interest of the United States of America. Public records back in 2002 will show you that he's been convicted of giving false information. And now we're in the beautiful year of 2025, and look who this criminal is palling around with. And all of a sudden, this news breaks out that billions upon billions of dollars has been extorted out of the beautiful state of Minnesota.
People say you're not doing work, that you're billing thousands of dollars for work that's not being done.
Come on, man. Let's take the proper channels, man. I'm doing everything I am correctly.
It is so unbelievably
He said, come on, man, look at the proper channels.
irresponsible for the left to be pinning this as a race issue. They want to run this whole narrative about how everybody wants to come to the United States because it's a great country and everybody deserves to come here because our nation was founded on immigrants, and that's fine. But aren't you cheapening the system? Aren't you cheapening the value of the system when all you're doing is allowing people to come here and commit fraud? $1 billion with a B. Usually I'd say anything in the millions is pretty like a drop in the bucket, but $1 billion really makes you question how the hell they got away with this for so long. Now my question is, okay, what are we going to do about it? We're going to arrest these people, maybe deport them, who knows? But then what do we do after that? What are we doing to check the waste, fraud, and abuse to make sure something like this never happens again? Doge was like a fleeting thought. We had rescissions, big deal, but...
Let me tell you something. Right now, a lot of people who are coming forward and talk...
Well, the thing is, bro, people in power and position are always gonna be able to commit fraud, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to stop that. You know? It's like it's the same person. It's same as the person who's driving an Amazon truck, delivering packages. They got the option if they want to steal some packages or not. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to stop it because they're in a position to do it. You know, you can limit it. You know, but
about the Somali.
It's crazy. So this guy he has a nonprofit, or what exactly is he doing though? After learning about Somali fraud case in Minnesota, so did he have a nonprofit? I might have missed
fraud case in Minnesota apparently are getting doxxed and getting objects thrown at them. This woman is saying that this whole thing is deeper than Minnesota and says that, hey, you know, it's becoming bigger and bigger. And this morning, somebody showed up to her house where she lives and began throwing objects at her window. Knows that they're clearly trying to intimidate her and silence her, but she says she isn't backing down.
Another Somalian scam in Minnesota, but this couple got away with $7.2 million after going to court and being convicted. The judge overturned it. They had a home health care business for 2 years without a physical address, like without a building,
but a P.O. box. They overcharged Medicaid, overbilled them, didn't have documentation for the services that they provided. All this was provided in the courtroom, and the judge said, nope, we're going to overturn the decision of the jury.
So these niggas had a home health motherfucking old place, and they was what was they scamming insurance or something? A fucking senior living. Yo, that's wild.
Services that they provided, all this was provided in the courtroom, and the judge said, nope, we're going to overturn.
Bro, fraud cases, you don't get a lot of time for scamming money, bro. You know, you get time for selling dope. You know?
The decision of the jury.
To all you undocumented fraudsters out there, you might want to beware. Because Trump, yes, Trump, just shut the door on your foolishness. This is Keith, the law enforcement OG. And folks, well, our president, Donald J. Trump, he finally shut down the scam. For years, a select group of Somalian nationals have been abusing Americans' generosity by siphoning millions through fraudulent means and government loopholes. And now, investigators, they warn that some of this fraudulent money may be even flowing overseas. And it's raising concerns about funding bad actors and extremist groups in Somalia. These are people that are not pro-American and pretty much are our enemies.
Over 400 Minnesota Department of Human Services employees have accused Tim Walz of ignoring the widespread Somali community fraud warnings. And also there seems to be retaliation against the whistleblowers. Because right now, the Somali fraud rings have basically taken about $1 billion away from U.S. tax money. That money is being funneled to Somalia, funneled to cars and also real estate in Kenya and Turkey.
Yeah, so they're getting government incentives that is from taxpayer money. That shit is crazy. How the hell they know to do this, man? How they that smart, bro? But niggas from America can't even figure it out and do some scams like that, though, nigga. Hey, yo, I'm not saying do scams, but I'm just saying, how do they know to do this? You know what I'm saying? How do y'all know this?
Some wild stuff going on right now in Minnesota.
This one makes you want to throw up on a potted plant.
On a potted plant.
This one's centered around autistic children.
Is that right?
Once again.
In
this.
That's how y'all talk out there in Minnesota.
Program, a group of providers, supposedly medical providers, got together.
Right. Okay.
And they went to the welfare authorities in Minnesota and said, we need money to help autistic children.
Right.
So, well, that's a wonderful thing to do. And then these providers,
and they got donations.
The welfare department at the state government in Minnesota gave them the okay. They went out and started recruiting autistic children.
Is that right?
You say, well, okay.
Yeah, you gotta sell the image, marketing.
Somehow.
Marketing.
Can we certify that your child is autistic? If you'll let us do that, we'll pay you a bribe. Anywhere from $400 to $1,500 a child. Now, once again, the program, it didn't start big. These were sophisticated crooks. She was also in, by the way, on the feeding of the children scam as well.
Somali's running an autism scam in Minnesota.
That's
you have these women signing Somali families up for their kids to be diagnosed with autism so they could get all kinds of benefits from these providers.
So that's what he was saying. Like they would diagnose them with autism, or they would already have autism and come to them and or what the hell?
He's up for their kids to be diagnosed with autism so they could get all kinds of benefits from these providers. So they'll go to these providers where the providers could charge the state for all kinds of money.
Okay, I understand it.
2018. Imagine this. In 2018, these services, the state paid $3 million in services for autism, right?
Hey.
By 2023, it went up to $400 million.
Hey.
autism providers went from 20 to 400 providers.
That's a big red flag, boy. He said 3 million to 400 million. Oh my God, where's all these autistic kids come from? You know what I'm saying? They just out here diagnosing anybody with autism. You know what I'm saying? And getting money. And so like they would in return supposed to like care for that kid or what. That's crazy, yo. How do they know to do this, bro? Y'all playing with a crazy, that's a crazy scam, bro. That's crazy.
$1 million in services for
But apparently they didn't have a physical location. So how?
Imagine this, in 2018, these services, the state paid $3 million in services for autism, right? By 2023, it went up to 400 million. Autism providers went from 20 to 400 providers, all because of this scam. And
20 to 400.
You know what? They took that money and they sent it back to Somali to fund an Islamist terrorist group that's connected to Al-Qaeda.
It's a lot bigger than you think.
Is that
Even
right?
the Treasury Secretary has now came out behind this whole Minnesota welfare fraud scheme and says we are discovering that Minnesota state welfare funds somehow made their way overseas. The money is being tracked into the Middle East and Somalia and must get to the bottom of what's going on. You got $1 billion of American people's money being funded to a lot of various organizations in Somalia, in the Middle.
Nigga, you just made that nation way richer, damn near. If that's being used to actually fund the country and not, nigga, they could use that to go to war with another country or something. That's crazy. American dollars is one of the top valuable dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Overseas.
In the world.
The money's being tracked into the Middle East and Somalia and must get to the bottom of what's going on. You got $1 billion of American people's money being funded to a lot of various organizations in Somalia, in the Middle East, and some are being used to buy real estate in Turkey. I don't know what in the world is going on. And you kind of see what's going on. The current administration does not want to continue to defraud the American people.
ICE is in Minnesota. Trump administration intensified immigration operation to be sent to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. That's where a large Somali population resides. So far, there has been 12 arrests made. These detainees has had past convictions from fraud and violent crimes. This crackdown comes from federal authorities uncovering allegedly $8 billion in several fraud cases coming from fake autism claims, Medicaid to housing programs.
I'm from Minneapolis, and Somalians are just part of the culture here. As far back as I can remember, I've always seen Somalians. And in these past 5 years, the population increased so much. It went from seeing them to them feeling like the majority a lot of places that I go. And also over the past few years, I've noticed that I see a lot of them with new cars. So I'm a handyman, and I worked on a lot of Section 8 housing to make sure they're up to standard. Okay. And one thing I've noticed when I go to these Section 8 houses,
new cars outside them up.
It's usually a Somali family.
Okay.
What I mean, usually it's 9 times out of 10. And those houses usually have new cars in the front. I mean cars with an S, multiple new cars. And what I mean usually is like 8 out of 10 Somali houses, I've seen that. And I always wondered.
So everybody's heard about the $1 billion and a
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, either somebody is scamming the system, they trapping, or they priorities is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? If they in the hood living on Section 8 and they got a new car parked outside, it's something going on. You know
Did fraud in Minnesota that Tim Walz overseen. But have you heard about Maine? That's the proper way to say Maine, by the way. It's Maine. After hearing what whistleblower Christopher Bernardini of Gateway Community Services had to say, Gateway Community Services is a nonprofit where Bernardini worked, calling himself the billing guru of the company for 7 years. Gateway Community Services, or GCS, is a nonprofit.
Trump has launched a scathing attack against Somalis in Minnesota. He said that the Somalis in Minnesota contribute nothing. He said 88% of them receive benefits and they contribute nothing. He said that all they do is complain. He said that the Somalis in America are garbage. He said Ilan Omar, the congresswoman, was garbage. He said that he doesn't want Somalis in his country, and this is actually quite dangerous for people who are Somali because ICE agents have been sent to deport people who...
Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna lie though. To say like you don't want no Somalis is kind of racist though. Like, I can understand you don't want no illegal immigrants that don't contribute or are scamming, and they're legal, they're scamming, whatever the case is. I can see how you don't want them, but you can't just say you don't want no Somalis at all. Like, I don't know if he necessarily said it like that, but hey, man, Somalis is black folk. You know what I'm saying? And how black folks and Somalis, it may be differences and between each other and how we differ with each other and whatnot, but hey, if Trump could get black people out of here and deport black folk back to Africa, whatever, he sure the hell would, nigga. He sure the hell would. What's stopping him? The only thing that's stopping him is the fact that we are literally U.S. citizens. Anyone born here, we were born here. That's what we got. You know what I'm saying? But if you wasn't born here, Trump trying to get your ass up out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we already know where Trump stands. Trump, he racist, straight up. You know what I'm saying? So if he doing this to the Somalis, he talking about he don't want no Somalis. He ain't saying he don't want no Mexicans. He ain't saying he don't want no, you know what I'm saying, no Asians. He ain't saying he don't want none of them. He's saying he don't want no illegals and no Somalis. You know what I'm saying? So what you think he would do to black people if he could, man?
Who are Somalis, irrespective of whether they have documents, whether they're law-abiding citizens.
Listen to what she's saying.
Agentry, and this is actually quite dangerous for people who are Somali because ICE agents have been sent to deport people who are Somalis, irrespective of whether they have documents, whether they're law-abiding citizens.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
ICE agents are looking for anybody that is Somali and they are being deported. He said he is going to deport them back to Somali because he said that all they do is complain. I didn't realize complaining was against the law. So he said all the Somalis do is complain and he doesn't want them in his country. He said that some people are going to view...
I mean, if you complaining about a place that you came to, I mean...
that as not politically correct. That's my Kikuyu accent coming.
I mean, how do you come to America and just like try not to adapt and like, you know what I'm saying, be like fuck America and you know what I'm saying, complain about it here? You can take your bitch ass back.
Not politically country. He said that some people are going to view that as not politically correct. That's my Kikuyu accent coming out. So he said that people might think that what he's saying is not politically correct, but he said that he doesn't care. All he wants is to get rid of the Somalis.
Out the way, Bruce. Out the way. Out the way. You will get knocked down. Move.
You're going to be seeing a lot of black vans, a lot of these SUVs and Chevy Tahoes. If you look at this, a lot of ICE raids are happening. This immigrant is being arrested and will most likely be deported. We're seeing a lot of this. In Minnesota, you got like a whole airplane full of ICE agents landing down, and they're conducting a lot of these arrests. They're trying to bust up a lot of these fraud rings. I don't think the current administration is playing around anymore. They're very, very serious about what they do. This is one of the first major ICE deployments that we've seen all year. And so far, it's been pretty effective.
Arrest of a Somali immigrant in Minnesota seen pictured with local Democrat leaders, Governor Tim Walz and Congressman Ilhan Omar. ICE says that he was convicted of welfare fraud in Canada and should not have been eligible for temporary status here in the United States. Correspondent Garrett Tenney tells us the backstory here from Chicago. Hi, Garrett.
Like I've said before, and I'm going to keep saying this, nobody takes America serious. When we allowed everybody to come in here, flooding in here like water and all, these are all the aftermath and these effects that we get from these people. Look at what Somalians are doing in Minnesota. For the last 5 years, they have been recruiting families to get an autism diagnosis for their children and then signing them up in an HSS program only to try to steal billions of dollars from taxpayers. Not giving a damn whether a child has autism or not. I take that very offensive because I have a child that has autism. And then when you got these foreigners that come over here and don't give a fuck about the U.S., don't give a damn about how they misuse, don't give a damn about our laws, don't want to learn our language, don't want to come over here the right way. We got protesters out here fighting for these type of people. And then we got people in Congress, foreign and aliens in Congress that show their true colors when the time come and permit itself. Like Omar, Ayam Omar, however you say her name. She don't care nothing about the U.S., but she has a seat in Congress. I'm not understanding about that. I'm not understanding where everything fits in with how we're trying to govern our country. And then they done stole $1.7 billion in the last 5 years, only to send it back to their country so they can benefit their country. Everybody that comes over here illegally comes over here to make money and take from taxpayers.
Yeah,
and
that's big
get
facts.
all the sweat and sand on our backs and put their foots on our necks.
That is true, bro. People come, like, I be wondering, like, why do these, like, if you ever go to like a Arab or like an Indian motel or like a convenience store, they always in the hood, they always raggedy as fuck, they don't never really take care of them shits, like, you know what I'm saying? I be wondering, like, why is that? It must be because, and they always live on the property, they always the ones running it, you know what I'm saying? I always wonder why, like, it's always raggedy, why they don't fix it up, this, that, and the third. Well, for one, it may not make a whole lot of financial sense, business-wise, to do that. But then you could raise the rent, so you never know. But they might be sending that money back home, you know? I mean, you know, that's what America's for. I mean, you know, America is not like any other country in the world, bro. That's something we gotta understand, bro. Racism is not cool here. This is a mixed territory. This is a land of different religions, of freedoms to do what you want. And so I think as time goes on, America's gonna get more, you know, it's gonna be more known as that. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's like people don't really understand that, but it's like over time, I feel like it's going to get like that. And then it's like, I also feel like it may end up getting more segregated over time with how fast the Hispanic population is growing, the immigrant population is growing, and all the divides that we have going on, bro, right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's never no telling, man.
And take from taxpayers and get all this.
But yeah, that's what they do, man. They come over here, they use America for what they use it for, and then they you know, send that money back home or whatever.
Sweat and sand on our backs and put their foots on our necks and just steal. And the Democrats make it possible for them to do this. It makes no sense to me. And then we're sitting around here and we're getting things cut off. We're getting stuff downsized. We're getting stuff tampered with. All because they're trying to balance a budget after they done wastefully mismanaged money and gave it all out to people and allowed all these people to come over here and steal from us. That makes no sense. And then foreign people going around here, they're killing people. They're doing all this other stuff. We have enough crimes in the American system that allow somebody that's already illegally to come over here.
So you just got this piece of property
Hey
here.
man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this Somali scams that's going on out there in Minnesota, man. That shit is crazy, bro. That shit is crazy, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you want to hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the name.